read things in Arabic, we should be able to understand, especially the Quran and the Hadith. So we should be able, and when we are also reading Islamic books, books that contain the knowledge of Islam, we should be able to understand them. For instance, we want to read a book on fiqh or the seerah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We should be able to understand these books. May Allah make it easy. And what we have come up with, we see that we are not depending on a particular book. What we are coming up with, there are basic things in language that when they are understood, it will enhance us to understand others. So it is not compulsory that for a learner of a language to memorize the whole of a dictionary before you can understand the language, because not every words are useful for you. Especially it is said that when you are learning a language, you have to specialize. That is, you learn words, you learn sentences, vocabularies, and structures, rules that have to do with what you want to use that language for. For instance, as a businessman or businesswoman, when you are learning a language, you need vocabularies that have to do with language more than other vocabularies. So you have to specialize. Then you focus on that area of yours. That is why when we are learning the Arabic, we give our preference and focus to words that are related to our religion, firstly, then words that are commonly used. That is why in the series we have many videos on the most commonly used words, sentences. And that is why the first lesson that we did in the platform on our weekend classes contain words that are commonly used. That there is no way you want to speak in Arabic that you are not going to use those words. So words like urid, so which means I want. There is no way we not want something. I want to urinate. What we are going to say, urid and abula. I want to defecate. Urid and ataghawata. I want to sit. Urid and ajlisa. I want to eat. Urid and akula. I want to talk. Urid and atakallama. I want to see you. Uridu and araka. So we can see from all these sentences, the kalima, they all started with urid, 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 urid. I want, I want, I want. Likewise, there are some things that we don't want every day. Every day. There is no way you will not use that kalima. For instance, la uridu an adhaba ila al-amal al-yawm. La uridu an adhaba ila al-amali al-yawm. Can you tell me the meaning of that sentence?
I will not la huridu. La huridu, yes, I will not.
No.
The other one.
La uridu an adhaba.
And I will not come.
Dhahaba means go.
Okay, go. Okay, I will not go.
Ila al-amal.
Ila al-amal. To where they are learning. Amal.
Al-amal means work.
Okay.
Work. W-O-R-K. Work.
Okay. Okay. Amal.
Al-yawm. What about al-yawm?
Today.
Today. So when you look at this sentence, you can see, I say, La uridu an adhaba ila al-amali al-yawm. I don't want to go to work today. Walakin uridu an adhaba ila al-masjid. Uridu an adhaba ila al-masjid. I want to go to the mosque. Al-yawm. You can see. So the difference is the use of la and absence of la. You say la to make negation. And when you say la, mostly you say don't. For instance, la tadhhab, don't go. La ta'kul, don't eat. La tatakallam, don't talk. La tamshi, don't walk. La tukhbiru, don't inform. Akhaka, your brother. An hadha, about this. La tukhbir akhaka an hadha, don't inform your brother about this. La tukhbir akhaka an hadha, don't inform your brother about this. So you can see La tukhbir akhaka an hadha, don't inform your brother about this. So when you look at all these, you can see don't. Because in your own translation, you say, I am. No. So when you want to say I am, the primary auxiliary verb, the be verb, I am, he is. Do you understand? In that case, you make use of word like kana, or you just say that word directly. For instance, adhabu ila al-madrasa, I am going to the school. La adhabu ila al-madrasa, I am not going to the school. Can you see? So you say urid and la urid. Uridu and la uridu. I hope that is clear, ma.
Yes, sir. Uridu, la
Okay.
huridu. Uridu, I want. La huridu, I don't want.
Exactly. So then in uridu, I mentioned three things when we are making use of urid. I said the first one is to say urid. The second one is to say la urid. Then the third one is to come after urid with an. Alif Amsa Fatiha A Nun Sukun an. So an here means two. So you now come with a continuous tense verb. A continuous verb tense. You can use it for the first person, and you can also use it for the third person. For instance, adhabu, I go. Yadhabu, he goes. Tadhabu, you go. You understand? Tadhabu, you go. Now I can say uridu an adhabu. But instead of saying adhabu, when the ba is having doma, I say adhaba. And when you are asked, why do you say adhaba instead of adhabu, you say it is because the word an, whenever it enters before a fi'lu mudari, a present tense, you are going to give that present tense nasbu. And nasbu is represented by fatha in most cases. There are other things that represent nasbu, but it is mostly represented with fatha. So whenever you have an, the verb that come after it, which is in present tense, should have fatha or other things that can be in place of fatha. For instance, uridu an atakallama. You don't say uridu an atakallamu. Takallama means spoke. So when I say uridu an atakallama, it means I want to speak. Uridu an ajilisa, I want to sit. You understand? You can see there is to before the verb. And that to is represented by an. So you can see uridu ta'aman. We say the first one is to come with uridu followed by a noun. Uridu plus a noun. You understand, ma? Uridu
Yes,
plus a noun. For instance, uridu ta'aman. And when you say uridu, for instance, I want food, you can see that the word food is object of the sentence. So when you say I want food, food here is object. And in Arabic, object of a sentence we take nasbu. And that nasbu is represented by fatha in most cases. There are other things that represent nasbu, but in most cases, it is represented by fatha. So you say, uridu ta'aman. That is, I want food. Then which other thing? Uridu qamisan. I want
I
a
want
shirt.
shirt.
Yes. Uridu jawalan. I want a phone. Uridu kitaban. I
I
want
want
a
a
book.
book.
Uridu qalaman.
I want a pen.
Now,
I want a pen.
uridu, yes. Uridu sama'atan. Now,
Samahat
sama'atan.
is this sky?
La. Sama'u is sky. Sama'u is sky.
Okay.
Summer. Yes.
Okay.
But this one is sama'atun with sama'atu. That is the earpiece.
Okay.
The earpiece or the headphone. Sama'a. So we say uridu sama'an. Which other thing can we do? Can we want? Uridu malan.
I
Uridu.
want money.
Uridu malan. I want money. Uridu malan. I want money. Which other thing?
Uridu Khamisa. I want shirt.
Uridu
Khamisa.
ko. It is ko.
Okay,
Komison.
Khamisa. Komiso.
Komison. Akada. Uridu komison. I want a shirt. Then uridu ustadhan. Uridu ustadhan. I want a teacher. Uridu ustadhan. I want a teacher. Uridu
Misturata. I want
mistoratan.
Misturutan. I
With
want
sword. A ruler.
a ruler.
Makada. Then we can say Uridu maktaban. Uridu maktaban. Maktab mean office. Maktab
Office.
can also mean table.
Table.
Uridu maktaban. I want a table or I want an office. Barakallahu fikum. So that is the first thing when we want to use urid. And you can see that with kalima urid fakot, you can just come up with a lot of sentences. You can see, I want. There is no way you don't want something. That is the first thing. Then the second one is to come up with urid plus an, then plus verb, a present tense verb. You know, instead of saying uridu ta'aman, we can use other verb form. Wa alaikum salam. No.
Please, can I record this thing? I don't know.
Yes, don't worry. I'm recording here. Do you understand? After the class, inshallah, I will try to send it to you.
Mashallah, barakallah.
Inshallah. I'm making a recording. Yes. I will send it to you through the WhatsApp, inshallah.
Thank you, sir.
So, when you say urid, instead of saying urid, there are other ways you can use it. For instance, you want to talk about third person. You want to talk about the second person. Instead of saying urid, when you are talking about yourself, you can come up with a plural. We say nurid, which means we. We now say nuridu ta'aman, we want food. Nuridu daftaron, we want a notebook. Nuridu jawalan, we want a phone. Nuridu hasuban, we want a computer and the like. You want to talk about the second person, singular, you can say turidu ta'aman. Turidu ta'aman. Turidu maktaban. You want a food. You understand? So
yes,
that is it. Then another way around, when you say to read, okay, I'm going to add one to it to make it 4. So we are still on the first one, where you say you read or urid, and you mention a name. Then the second one is that after urid, you have an, then followed by a simple present tense. You say, for instance, I want to go home. you can say uridu. And that too is represented by an. You say uridu an adhaba. Adhaba is from dhahaba, which means went. So adhaba means go, to go. Ila bayti. I want to go to house. I want to go to house. Uridu an adhaba ila al-madrasa. I want to go to the school. Uridu an adhaba ila al-amal. I want to go to the place of work. Uridu an adhaba ila al-ustadhi. I want to go to the teacher. Uridu an adhaba ila al-mustashfa. I want to go to the hospital. Uridu an adhaba ila al-mustawsaf. I want to go to the pharmacy. Uridu an adhaba ila al-idarati. I want to go to the administrative office. Uridu an adhaba ila Makkah. I want to go to Makkah. You can see, we go to many places. So that what I have said is that with my method here, there are basic things that when you learn them and you master them, you just have to apply it with yourself. Do you understand? You can see we go to many places, you just say adhaba, adhaba, then you mention the place that you are going. Here, what you just need to know now.
Uridu and ashaba ilal suka.
Ila suki.
Suki, okay, market.
Yes, because another thing is that preposition, whenever they come, the word that follow them must take kesro. That is the rule. For instance, ila suki, to the market. Min al masjidi, from the mosque. Ma'a al ustadhi, with the teacher. Bi qalamin, with a pen. Katabtu bi qalamin, I wrote with a pen. Do you understand? So that is the second one. You say uridu plus an, then plus present tense verb. You say uridu an atakallama. I want to speak ma'al ustad, with the teacher. Uridu an akula. I want to eat urzan. I want to eat rice. Uridu an akula.
Ustaz,
I can hear you.
Said,
yes, ma'am.
Uridu and hakula ila rusa.
La, not ila, because it is direct. It is a verb that is what is it called? They call it lazim. They call it lazim and mutaaddi. That is how do they call it in English? Transitive and intransitive. No, not transitive and intransitive. There is this verb lazim and mutaaddi. So we will come to that later. But here, what I want to say in essence is that this type of verb does not need a preposition. Uridu an akula urzan. I want to eat rice. Do you understand? So we can also say.
We gave it fata.
Yes, because it is maf'ul bih, it is object. But when the object is having a preposition before it, it will now take kesro. Okay. So we have to know the 12 or 10, those prepositions. We have to know them, inshallah. Okay. So when we say uridu an adhaba, we can say uridu an akula, uridu an adurusa. For instance, uridu an adurusa lughata al-arabiyyata. Adrusa lughata al-arabiyyata. I want to learn Arabic language. Now, instead of saying it to myself, I can say nuridu.
We.
In that case, yes. Instead of saying adhaba, I will now say nadhaba. I will replace that alif with nun. Nuridu and nadhaba. You can see uridu. I change that u to nu. Uridu, nuridu. When I'm talking about the third person singular, I will say yuridu. He wants. You understand? Yuridu. Instead of adhaba, I will say yadhaba. Yuridu and yadhaba ila al-madrasa. He wants to go to the school. You understand, ma?
Yes, sir.
I'm talking to a person that I'm facing. The second person I can say, turidu, you want, and tadhaba, to go, ila al-madrasa. So we are coming to lessons regarding how to make use when you want to change from singular to plural, when you want to change from first person to second or third person, and when you want to change from male to female. We are coming to that, inshallah. But as we are mentioning some of them, we should note them. We should note them so that we can start using them, inshallah. Then the second thing, this is the second thing. Then the third thing we have mentioned before is to come with la or ma. And this la and ma are called la and nafi, or ma and nafi. The la or the ma that are used to make negation. When you want to negate something, for instance, I don't, or I am not. For him to, now you say, uridu ta'aman, you say la uridu ta'aman, or you say ma uridu ta'aman. أريد أن أذهب إلى المدرسة لا أريد أن أذهب إلى المدرسة ما أريد أن أذهب إلى المدرسة. In Surah Al-Dhariyat, Allah said ما أريد منهم من رزق. ما أريد, I don't want, منهم, from them, من رزق, provision. Allah said I don't want from them any provision. Ma uridu, I don't want. Min whom, min from whom, them. Ma uridu min whom, I don't want from them in risking any provision. Wa ma uridu, and I don't want from them and to yutu'imun, to feed, that is to feed me. I don't want them to feed me. You can see the two examples of ma that we have, or let me say the three, because you see, uridu, ma uridu, then and yutu'imun. You can see the use of that and. So that is that. Then the fourth way by which we can use urid is to ask question. Is to ask question. And when you want to ask question, there is hamzatul istifham. There is alif, hamza, that is used to ask question. You say for instance. Then you can say hal. You can see antum, are you, in the Quran, in Surah Al-Mulk. Antum, in Surah Al-Mulk. Then another way, antum ashaddu khalqan, Surah Al-Nazihat. Antum, are you? You understand? You say antum. That is used to ask question. Then you say hal. For instance, hal ataka hadithu al-ghashiyah. Hal ataka hadithu al-ghashiyah. So that is also used to ask question. For instance, I say, turidu ta'aman, you want food. But when I'm talking to a female, that turidu will become turidina. Turidina. There are many. That's why I said that we are going to see that in the future, inshallah. You say to read, when I'm talking to a male, turidu ta'aman, you want food. I cannot say aturidu. You can see. Instead, before to, I now come with a. I say aturidu. Do you want ta'aman? Do you want food? I can also say aturidu an tadkhul al-fasla. Aturidu, do you want? And tadkhula, dakhala means entered. Tadkhulu, entering. Do you want to enter al-fasla, the class? Aturidu and tadkhula al-fasla, do you want to enter the class? You understand, ma? Then yes, I can say, instead of saying I can now say hal turidu ta'aman, do you want food? Hal turidu an tadkhul al-fasla, do you want to enter the class? So these are examples. You can see we have seen 4 things about ma. Generally, I have told people 3, but now we are adding 1 to make it 4. So when we say aturidu, or we can say uridu ta'aman, that is the first one. Then the second one, أريد أن أذهب إلى المدرسة. The second one. Then the third one. ما أريد طعاما. Another example. ما لا أريد طعاما or ما أريد أن أذهب إلى المدرسة or لا أريد أن أذهب إلى المدرسة. Then هل تريد أن تذهب إلى المدرسة؟ هل تريد أن تذهب إلى المدرسة? What does that mean, ma?
And to redo that.
أن تذهب.
And tashaba. I don't. That
And
you
I say
that.
hal. It is a question. Hal.
Okay. Do you
Mm-hmm.
do
هل تريد أن تذهب
you want to go to
إلى المدرسة?
the school?
نعم, exactly. For
And but
instance,
that two is referring to a male.
no, what is referring to a male there is that ta in
I said
tadhhab.
ta. Yeah, ta.
Yes,
Ta.
that ta. But that an represent to
To.
to. Yes, to. Yes. So barakallahu fikum. So that is all about urid, and I hope it is understood.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now, so what you are going to do is that, inshallah, after the class or when you are chanced, possibly before we meet tomorrow, inshallah, you are going to come with, we have mentioned 4 things about urid. I mentioned that you can say uridu plus a noun. Uridu ta'aman, for instance. In that case, you are going to come with some examples. Uridu miftahan, which means key. Uridu waladan, which means a son. Uridu waladan, I want a boy. Uridu bintan, I want a girl. You understand? Uridu commission, I want a shirt. So you come with some examples. Do you understand? It will be better if you come with examples of what we have not mentioned. Do you understand? Uridu matbahon, I want a kitchen. So you come with some of the words that we have not made use of before. So you mention them, you write them down. When you write them, you can send it to me through the WhatsApp. Then, if possible, you can also make the audio recording of it. Because the more you record, the more you speak it, the more your tongue will become conversant with it. So that when you come to real life situation, you will be able to say it out. That is one. The uridu plus a noun. Uridu ta'aman. That is the EG. Then the second one you say, uridu an. Uridu plus an, then plus a continuous tense or present tense verb. Uridu an ajilisa. You understand? Uridu an ajilisa. Ajilisa means from jalasa, isat. Ajilisa, I want to sit. So you can come, when you say I want to sit, it is okay. But you can also mention where you want to sit. For instance, uridu an ajilisa ala al-kursi. I want to sit on the chair. Uridu an ajlisa ala al-ardi. I want to sit on floor. You understand? That is the second one. You come up with examples. Then the third one is to come with negation. La uridu ta'aman or la uridu an ajlisa. La uridu an ajlisa fil fasli. You say ma or you say la. Then the fourth one, you ask question. Hal or you can say aturidu, or you say hal turidu ta'aman, hal turidu an tadhhaba. You know that when we are asking question like that, you ask someone that you face, meaning that the second person. So you say hal turidu ta'aman, do you want food? Hal turidu an tajlisa, do you want to sit? So that is all about it. So the second word that we have in the class was ahtaj. Ahtaj is from ihtaja. Ihtaja means he needed. He needed. Ihtaja, he needed. So when you say ihtaja, it can come on its own, or it can come with ila. He has a need to something. He needs something. You can say he needs something, or you say he has a need to something. So when you mean he has a need to something, it will be followed by ila. So we now say ahtaju. Ahtaju means I want. Ahtaju means I want. So I can say the way we have for that other one we read, we can say ahtaju. You understand? All those
I
four
need.
examples.
Attachment mean I need.
uh So the only difference is that uridu mean I want,
I
then
want.
ahtaju mean I need.
Mhm.
So all the first examples that we have mentioned about urid can also be mentioned about ahtaj. For instance, the first one we mentioned is uridu plus a noun. You can say ahtaju plus a noun. So you say ahtaju qalaman, ahtaju darusan. Darusan means lesson. I need a lesson. Ahtaju qalaman, or I need a lesson. Ahtaju darusan. You understand? Then the second one we say, you can say uridu plus an, then plus simple verb, simple present tense verb. You can say ahtaju an adhaba. Instead of say uridu an adhaba, you can say ahtaju an adhaba ila madrasa. I need to go to the school. You understand? Then the third one is to make nafiyu. Instead of saying la uridu ta'ama, you
La,
can say
la,
la ahtaju ta'aman.
la.
Do you understand? Instead of saying uridu ta'aman, you can say ahtaju ta'aman. Ahtaju ta'aman, I need food. Then the second one, you say uridu an adhaba. You can say ahtaju an adhaba. Instead of say I want, you can say I need. Ahtaju an adhaba. I need to go ilal bayt, to house. I need to go home. Do you understand? Then the third one is to come with negation. You say la uridu ta'aman. You can say la ahtaju ta'aman. You understand? I don't need a food. Then the second one, you can say la ahtaju an adhaba ilal bayt. I don't need to go home. Do you understand? Then the fourth one, you can make use of question. You can say hal tahtaju ta'aman. Do you need food? As we say hal turidu ta'aman. Do you want food? You can say hal tahtaju ta'aman. Then we can say uridu an adhaba. We can say turidu an tadhhaba. We can say hal turidu an tadhhaba. Hal turidu an tadhhaba. So in this case here, we can say hal tahtaju an tadhhaba ila al-bayt. Do you need to go home? So when you understand urid, it is the same thing as ahtaj. You just change, instead of urid, you change it to ahtaj. And you know there is difference between I want and I need. There is difference between I want and I need. So when you say you need something, it means it is more pressing than I want. Because when we say we want more than what we need. We want them more, we want than what we need. For instance, we may need only 2 clothes, but we want 100. Whereas what we need may not be more than 2, but we want 100. So that is why in economics it is said that human want is insatiable or something like that. That
It's
is,
unlimited.
as long as okay, it is need. Woman want is unlimited. Yes. Okay, ma. Woman want is unlimited. As one is satisfied, he will still want another. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, a man will never be satisfied except with 2 things, except with illa turab. It is only the sand, the soil of the earth, that when a man die and is buried, when that thing enter into his mouth, that is when he will only be satisfied. That is when he dies, is only when he will reach satisfaction. But in the world, you cannot be satisfied at all. It is said that pleasing people is an aim that can never be attained. If you want to please people, you will never be able to do that, because the more you do for them, the more they want. As you satisfy them, the more they need other satisfaction. So it is only good that you try to satisfy God. Once God is pleased with what you are doing, you don't mind what people will say. So may Allah grant us success. So as we have said, we have seen urid and we have seen ahtaj. And we said the use of urid can be in 4 ways. And the use of ahtaj can also be in 4 ways. So as you have come up with examples with urid, you should also come up with example with ahtaj. So may Allah make it easy for us. Then another crucial word in the list is a'taqidu. This kalima a'taqidu is a word that is commonly used daily. It is commonly used, especially by positive-minded people. By positive-minded people, they usually use a'taqid, because they are very faithful. So when you say a'taqid, it means I believe. A'taqidu, we now said when you say a'taqidu, it is followed with an. It is followed with an, alif hamza, fatiha, a, nun shadda fatiha, an. And the use of anna means that. When you say that, when inna is used, it can mean verily. But when anna is used, it can mean that verily. That the word verily is included. Then it also means that. For instance, a'taqidu, I believe, anna Allah, that Allah, wahidun, is one. You can see. A'taqid, I believe, annaka, that you are talibun, you are a student.
A student.
Yes, we can say mujtahidun, diligent one. A'taqidu anna abi, I believe that my father, rajulun, is a man, salihun, that is righteous. A'taqidi anna ustadhi, I believe that my teacher, mahirun, is proficient, is skillful. You can see, these are words that we use daily. A'taqid, I believe. A'taqidu anna ta'aman, ta'amin, food. A'taqidu, I believe, anna ta'aman, that the food, jahizun, is prepared, is ready. A'taqidu anna ta'ama jahizun, I believe that the food is ready. A'taqidu, I believe, anna al-muslimina, that the Muslims, yadkhuluna al-jannata, we enter paradise. Wa a'taqidu, and I also believe, anna al-kafira, that a disbeliever, yadkhulun nara, we enter hell. A'taqidu, I believe, anna Nigeria, that the country Nigeria, ghaniyatun, is ghaniyu, is rich. Ghaniyatun is rich. I said ghaniyatun because when we are talking about country, it is dealt with as feminine now. A'taqidu anna Nigeria dawlatun ghaniyatun, is a wealthy country. A'taqidu anna taliba hadirun, I believe that the student is present. A'taqidu anna taliba hadirun, I believe that the student is present, is available. A'taqidu anna thamana sayyarati, I believe that thaman mean price. Thaman mean price. Tha, mim, and nun. Thamanu, it means price. And I said, A'taqidu, I believe, anna thamana, that the price, sayyarati, of the car, rakhisun, is cheap. You can see, A'taqidu anna thamana sayyarati rakhisun, I believe that the price of the car is cheap. So look at some of these sentences. There are things that we say daily that when we master them, it will really assist us to speak Arabic with ease. May Allah make it easy for us. So we have seen a'taqid followed with inna. A'taqid. So when we say a'taqid, can you give me any sentence that have I believe that? in English.
In
You
English.
can
Okay,
say
I
yes.
believe.
I
Okay, I
want you to give me
believe.
5. Sorry, I want you to give me 5 examples from English
Okay.
that as I believe that, then I will now come up with the Arabic, and you are going to master the Arabic, so that next time when you want to say that word and you want to speak Arabic, you will know how to say it. Barakallahu fikum. Now, tafadoli. Tafadoli. Now,
I believe that woman is your mother.
I believe that that
That
woman
is your
is your
mother.
mother. أعتقد أن تلك المرأة أمك. أعتقد, I believe, أن that تلك المرأة, تلك المرأة, that woman, هذه المرأة, this woman, تلك المرأة, that woman, أمك, أمك, your mother. You can see what we just have to do is to tear apart that sentence. You can see, I believe that that woman. You can see there are 2 dots following each other. I believe that that woman. So someone who does not understand English can think that this is tautology, whereas it is not. I believe that that woman, it is a correct sentence. I believe that that woman is your mother. So I believe, أعتقد that أن that woman, تلك المرأة, أن تلك المرأة. We say تلك المرأة because of inna, and anything that follow inna we have fatha. أعتقد, I believe, أن تلك المرأة, that that woman, أمك, is your mother. Ummuki is your mother when we are talking about female. Now, ahsanti, barakallahu fik. Now, that is the first one. I hope it is understood.
Yeah, so small.
Okay. You know, as I said, you have it recorded. May Allah grant you the time to go back to it. When you go back to it, you can come up with your notebook. And as I said, it is not compulsory that you master everything I have said. But since you are having it with you, and for instance, we have classes 2 days, there are other 5 days that you can use to revise. The first assignment is just for you to make sure that you write everything set down, then you can learn them one after the other. And as I said, once you understand the logic behind these things that we are saying, for instance, if I want to teach people Arabic, I don't like teaching them Nahu and Sorfu. And you will see that, I hope you have heard about Nahu and Sorf.
Yes.
And you will see that in our environment, whenever people want to learn Arabic, the first thing they will tell you that is that, Afa, will you please come and teach me Nahu and Sorf? I think you have observed that.
I mean, I don't even understand if they do. If they are doing it, I will just be.
That is what people do. And Nahu and Sorfu is about the Arabic grammar. So when you want to learn a language, the first thing is not to learn the grammar. Don't learn the grammar. Because when you are learning grammar, it makes things complicated. When you are learning rules, set of rules. But let people understand the rule. For instance, I have told you that an object of a sentence will take what?
What do you say?
An object of a sentence will take what? For instance, I said,
and
we take
so
Fatiha. You will take Fatiha. I
okay.
said it will take Fatiha. So
Yes.
once you master that an object of a sentence will take Fatiha, what you just do is that when you construct something, look at it in English. What is the object from this sentence? You say kitab. So that kitab must have Fatiha because it is object. You understand?
Okay, sir.
Katabtu risalatan or kataba Abdullahi risalatan. Abdullah wrote a letter. You now think, okay, what is the position of risala? A letter. We come to English. Abdullah wrote a letter. Wrote a letter. A letter here is the object of the sentence. So meaning that risalatan here is also object, which is maf'ul bih. And in Arabic, the object should take fatiha. You know that that risala will take fatiha. So once you understand that, you don't need to memorize the rule in Arabic. You just have the understanding. You understand?
Yes, sir.
We are going to stop on a'taqid, inshallah, so that we don't make it too much, inshallah.
Yes,
So you can see I say a'taqid. You
I
have
believe.
come up with example, and I try to analyze. Tilka al-mar'atu. Tilka in Arabic mean that. Hadhihi mean this, female. Hadha, what is hadha?
Answer.
This.
This.
Yes. Dhalika, that.
And
Hadha, this.
this.
Dhalika, that.
That.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Hadha, this. Dhalika, that. That is masculine. Feminine. Hadhihi, this. Tilka, that. Hadhihi, this. Tilka, that. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now,
But the delica of the delica is used for both feminine and masculine.
you see, tilka is used basically for feminine.
Okay.
It is used basically for feminine. It is only used for masculine when you are talking about inanimate objects. When you are talking about inanimate object and it is plural. For instance, you know kitab is masculine, kitab. You know
Yes.
kitab is masculine. You
Yes.
say hadha al-kitab, this book. Dhalika al-kitab, that book. It is masculine. But when it becomes plural, the plural for kitab is kutub. And you now want to say, you know, it's become those. When you are talking about the ba'id, the distance, you say, in that case, you say, hadhihi al-kutub. Because it is now plural, you say, hadhihi al-kutub. Hadhihi al-kutub, it means these books. These books. Do you understand? These books. Hadhihi al-kutub. These books. Then when you are talking about those books, you now say, tilka al-kutub. Tilka al-kutub. And you know kutub is the plural of kitab, which is masculine. So that is the only way when it is, that is why I said when it is an animate object, that is when it is not human being. But when it is not, when it is human being, you don't use tilka. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, so and I said tilka al-mar'a, that woman. That woman. Ummuka. Ummu mean mother. Ka, your or you.
Your.
Ummuka, your mother. Kitabuka, your book. Qalamuka, your pen. Abuka, your father. Waladuka, your son. Bintuka, your daughter. Do you understand? So
Yes,
you now said, I believe that that woman is your mother. And I said, I believe mean a'taqidu anna. I believe that a'taqidu annaka. I believe that a'taqidu anna. And I said that woman, tilka al-mar'ata, ummuka is your mother. Do you understand? So you just need to analyze the sentence, then you come up with each word. Let us come with, give me another example in English where you say, I believe that. We are going to be sufficient with that. We are going to be sufficed with that one sentence. Mention another one in English.
I believe you are a Muslim.
Now, I say, I believe you are a Muslim. أعتقد أنك, you see, I believe that. أعتقد أنك مسلم. I believe that you are a Muslim. 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 هكذا. صحيح. A good Muslim. You can say Muslimun. You are a good Muslim. هكذا. وأعتقد أنه كافر. أنه, that he is a non-believer. Kafir, non-believer. So barakallahu fikum. So inshallah, may Allah grant us success. We have seen 3 out of this list of words. We have seen
Yes.
uridu, we have seen ahtaju, we have seen
Thank you.
ahtaqid. So
Attack
try
it.
to understand the use of this. You know, we say we want to speak Arabic in 6 months. So if we
Ah,
want to
I
speak
don't know.
Arabic
My
in
own
6
may be
months,
more than 6 months.
no. For instance, as we have started personally like this, I believe that each lesson that we take, if we understand it, you know, when we say speaking, it will have level. People will not be on the same on the same page,
Level.
at the same level. Someone can speak. For instance, when you ask somebody to speak Arabic, some people, after speaking it for 5 minutes, even among the scholars, because not all those Muslim scholars can speak Arabic, not even those who have studied for so long, not all of them, because speaking a language needs that you practice it regularly. If you
Mm,
abandon it and you come back to it, you'll not be able to speak it fluently anymore.
mm.
So look at these basic words that we have been saying. If you have proper understanding of them, I believe, أعتقد,
Attack
I
it.
believe that after 2 months, أنه بعد شهرين, that after 2 months, ستتقنينها, you are going to perfect them. So that is why when we say we want to speak Arabic quickly, we must come up with what is it, shortcut formulas. That is why we have researched for those things that are common, that once people understand them, you know, in English as well, in the English dictionary, most of these big dictionaries, you have at the back, they have list of 3,000 words. And they will
Mm.
tell you that when you pick any book that you want to read, 75% of words that are used in that book are contained in these 3,000 words. Any book that you read, once you understand those 3,000 words, there is no book under the earth's surface that you will pick in English language that you want to read. You will find that all these 3,000 words form 75% of the words used. Meaning that what you may have problem regarding in any book that you pick up is only 25%. Is only 25%. There are millions of Arabic words, but do we need all of them? For you to become an average speaker of a language, it is said that some of them said you need only 5,000 words. Some of them said that if you can master most commonly used 10,000 words in a language, you are a master in that language. Do you understand? That is why we have gathered some of these things that once we understand them in Arabic, you pick up a book, mostly you are going to understand it. You hear people speaking Arabic, you are going to understand them, inshallah. You find yourself in a situation that you have to speak Arabic. Once you understand this rudiment, you will speak, inshallah. So may Allah grant us success. It now depends on our ability and our zeal. Someone who is very zealous about it will take this study serious and we still give it extra, go extra mile in learning. You see, as I have said, these 2 days classes that we are embarking on, if after the class you can revise properly and you practice what we have learned, I believe that at the end of 6 months, you will have all cause to give thanks to Allah that Alhamdulillah, I never believed that I can achieve it. You know, in my promotional video, when I advertised the Arabic course, I said at the end of it that doubters will never act and actors will never quit. You know, when you are watching a film, you will see that actor, no matter how problem he faced, no matter how many times he died in that video, he will still last to the end of the video.
Mm.
And boss in the video, in films, no matter how powerful the boss, how wicked the boss is, he will still die before at the end of the video.
Mm.
That's why I said that quitters never act. They will say it will not work because doubters, they will never act. They will continue to doubt. 6 months, Arabic in 6 months. And some people will tell you that I have spent 9 years in Arabic school. Till now, I cannot speak Arabic because they have not been taught. They have not been taught in the right way. And one of the problems the Yoruba people are having is that when we went to the university, we met some people, especially those that come from French-speaking country. They speak better than those from English-speaking country, especially Nigeria. The reason is that those people, they are not mindful of grammar. They are not ashamed of speaking. They speak even though they make mistakes. But we, the Yorubas in particular, we are afraid of speaking because what we have been taught when it comes to Nahwu and Sorf Arabic grammar, the Yoruba people, will always meet them at the forefront. But when it comes to the practical, they will not be able to do, because here in the madrasa, when you are speaking, our Arabic teachers and Arabic learners here, they will bring out their pen. They want to write your mistakes. In that case, they will say, Aka akalta shajaro, you have eaten a tree. You have eaten a tree. They will translate. They are not even speaking the right language. They will say, he has eaten a tree, meaning otijegi, otijegi. You can see, that is what they master, instead of seeing a way of mastering the language. And it is said that man khofa sukota la yakumu abada. Whoever fears falling will never rise. Yes. When you are afraid of walking, you are afraid you will never stand up. It is only people who make attempts that we, in the long run, they will attain it. When you look at the first person that was said that invent the bulb that we are using today, it was said that he made experiment for 10,000 times. For 9,909 times, he failed. It was when he got to that 10,000 that he was successful. And look at it today, we enjoy the work that he did. If that man quit at the time that he has tried it for 9,000 times, then say, something that I have tried for 9,000 times cannot work. But because he believed in his dream, that the dream is achievable. So when we believe in the dream that we want to speak Arabic quickly, inshallah, we are going to do that. It is said that whatever the mind of a man conceives and believes, it can achieve. When a mind of a man conceives something, think of something, and the mind believes in that thing, a man can achieve that thing. So that is my own belief personally, because people can learn Arabic quickly, especially when they have the right tutor and the right methodology. So we pray to Allah to make it easy for us, inshallah. Barakallahu fikum. And tomorrow, inshallah, by 7, we are going to meet to continue. And we are going to start by revising what we have done today. Then we look at other new ways that we are going to learn. May Allah grant us success. After a few minutes, inshallah, I'm going to send the video to you via the WhatsApp, inshallah. May Allah make it easy. And if you don't mind, I can also share the video on the Facebook group for other people to benefit. Inshallah. So if that, I may send it to you, but possibly I will also upload it. May Allah grant us success. Inshallah. No, barakallahu fiik. My taslim to the household, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Inshallah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.